How's everyone doing? Going to get started a little bit. I just got to do a little bit of prep work, make sure everything is working properly. I'm also going to be streaming, giving a try on different platforms. For example, I'm going to post on my Instagram real quick. I'll be right back with y'all. So how's everyone doing? Be right with y'all, just getting some stuff going on different platforms. Alright, coming back in here. I'm going to start all of these guys. Fail to connect to the stream. Okay. Okay. We'll get started momentarily. How's everyone doing today? We're broadcasting a lot of different streams. So what you guys got to do is just be patient with me. And if you have specific questions, you can put them in the comments right away. And let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm just gonna test my audio real quick. Thanks for your patience, y'all. Testing, 1, 2, 3. There might be a little background noise. Just deal with it. We're going to continue our discussion on digestive health. Okay? And the benefit of you being on this call is that you have the opportunity to ask me different questions. A lot of you do not know how to clean your small and large intestines combined. You continue to struggle with your chronic constipation, and you just have no solutions. Let me tell you something, if you don't fix chronic constipation early, it's only going to get worse. That's how your body works. It doesn't just somehow disappear. Okay, ask your questions. Over here. Just typing it in. Today we're going to go through a lot of content as usual. And I've been going over the protocol right off the bat, followed by different liabilities concerns. Because many people They just push things off so far. And it's kind of leave the problem. They think that it's just going to go away naturally, but it doesn't. So you guys got to learn a lot of practical pessimism along the way. Okay? I mean, I have a lot of different slides. I've been learning and improving my detox protocols and also upgrading myself along the way. And I know a lot of y'all, you guys got dreams, you guys want to achieve your goals. Well, you're not going to get to any of your goals without proper health. And that is 100% true. Many people, they think that, oh, my health is okay. I don't have to do this. Dang it, why is this upload not working? Discarded. Story, one more time. Give me 1 second here, guys. I've been going live the last couple of days, and today I'm always doing something new and different. Join me live. All right. Your small and large intestines. Okay. If you're on my Instagram, it may not stream that well, simply because join me on the dimensions, but I haven't figured it out. If you know how to work this, just help me out here. I don't know how to work it. No worries. We're going to jump into the protocol right here and kind of explain what is chronic constipation. Many people all around the world have this problem. Okay, this is your large intestines, your colon, and many people that have compacted fecal matter stuck inside here right now. Many people don't even understand what is your digestive system, so I'm going to break it down to you in simple terms. I never learned this myself. I never went to medical school. So everything that I say is just knowledge, okay? It's just opinions. None of this professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Over here, this is your digestive system. You got to learn this picture to the best of your ability because it's that important. Okay, food enters your mouth, down the esophagus, into your stomach. In your stomach, you have your digestive enzymes start to break down the food. Then food will enter your small intestines next for nutrient absorption. This is 4.5 meters in length, roughly 15 feet. Then food will enter your large intestine for fecal feces formation. This is the ascending portion of your colon, the transverse, and followed by the descending portion of your colon. I gotta refresh this real quick. There are some pictures that did not show up, but we can continue the presentation regardless because I have the other slides. Now, looking at chronic constipation, this is a worldwide problem. It doesn't matter if you're keying in constipation in Japanese, in Chinese, in Korean, in English, okay, in Spanish, in Tajik, in Farsi, in Arabic, in Russian, in Ukrainian, in Portuguese. It does not matter. Everyone around the world, they're keying in constipation in their favorite search engine because it's that big of a problem. And over the years, this particular market has never contracted. This is one of these recession-proof businesses. If you can solve chronic constipation, you're going to have a lot of money. People are going to come to you for help if you can really solve their problem, because many people think that we're a very modernized society now. We can have all these different medications, we have these medical procedures. Surely allopathic medicine has the answers for us. Surely the doctors or the specialists can resolve my chronic constipation. No. And we're going to talk a lot about that because people do not have real solutions that is out there. Now, how do I define chronic constipation? If you're not going to the bathroom daily, every single day on a consistent basis, okay, that you can time it, you're chronically constipated. Some people say that, well, I'm only chronically constipated 1 to 2 days at a time, 3 to 4 days at a time, and they think somehow that is okay. I'm going to tell you today, that is very, very problematic, and it's only going to get worse because you didn't catch the early signs of chronic constipation, and things are going to be very bad for you. When your elimination is incomplete, residues of old feces can build up in layers on the walls of the colon. As they putrefy, they can cause health problems, pain, and discomfort. Many people have this. So right here, Human Physiology 101, food enters through your mouth, you eat the food, down your esophagus, into your stomach, digestive enzymes start to break down the food. Food enters your small intestines next, 4.5 meters, followed by the large intestine, another 1.5 meters in length. Many people, you have a colon that is completely full of trash, and you don't know how to resolve it, and it's only getting worse as the years goes on. Now, just how long is this pipe work? This is a much easier photo for you to understand your digestive health. It's a very long piece of pipe work. That's all it is. Do not complicate this. Because sometimes when you're looking at this photo, it may be a bit intimidating because you didn't go to medical school, you did not study human physiology. Well, at the very basics, this is just a drawing. It's a very long piece of pipe work. What you eat through your mouth, what you ingest through your mouth, it must go out the back end as waste elimination. That's all it is. Most of y'all, you're like this guy right here. You're huffing and puffing on the toilet. You're squeezing. You're trying to make things happen. You got veins popping on the side of your temples. And after all that work, all you get is a small little pebble at the end of your toilet. And you're very frustrated because you still have that feel. You still feel there's something more. You did not get a complete exit of that bowel movement. And that frustration just keeps on building and building over time. Now, today we're going to do the presentation. I'm going to share the protocol with you. Then I'm going to go to liabilities, concerns. You guys got to learn about a lot of liabilities, concerns. So let's just go through this one by one. This is a protocol that I have done over 5+ years now. I've taught this to myself, my family members, and hundreds of people all around the world. There are people that just watch my videos and try the protocol, they get success with it, and they pay me. That's how it works. They try the protocol, and they said, oh, this stuff actually works. So I'm going to explain this to the best of my ability so you can do this even without purchasing my program. And if it works, you can buy my program or work with me one-on-one, different things like that. What you need to get at the grocery store, number one, apple cider vinegar. You want to get apple cider vinegar that does not have any sugar added. Next, you're going to buy some citrus fruits. You're going to buy limes, lemons, or grapefruit. I highly recommend using grapefruit. These are the best tasting. Over here, you need to get some fine pink salt, fine grain pink salt. You can also substitute this pink salt with food grade Epsom salt. So you can go to Amazon, food grade Epsom salt. A lot of Epsom salts out there. It's not food grade, it's just for soaking, for relaxation. Now this Epsom salt you guys can buy. You can find probably something like this on iHerb, doesn't matter where you're from. And this particular product is completely food grade. I want you guys to get this because this is magnesium sulfate. Some of you may be worried about, oh, I'm using pink salt. It has a lot of sodium, right? So you might be worried about the sodium content. Well, magnesium sulfate does not have any sodium. Over here, this is black coffee. It's just prepared separately. There are a couple of things I want you to buy and prepare yourself for the selfless protocol. Now, these are the tools I want you to get, okay? You can screenshot this. Over here, you want to get a plastic bottle of water. It's about 2 liters in volume. This is a metal mesh screener. A metal mesh screener you can buy anywhere. Over here, get yourself a single press squeezer. They're much easier to work with. There are people, they're trying to extract the juices using that turn. Don't do that. You're going to waste so much time doing that. Next, you're going to buy some measuring cups. These measuring cups got to be accurate. They want to say the amount of milliliters on them. Okay, different parts of the world, especially in Asia, they do have measuring cups there, but it's different, and it does not say the amount of milliliters on them. How people measure in Asia is very different than how people measure across the rest of the world. So you want to find measuring spoons that say the amount of milliliter. And these are very inexpensive things that you can buy. I want you to get this kit for yourself, just for the salt flush. So it's not all over the place when you are in your kitchen, you're trying to find this, because you're going to have to do this week in, week out. I've been doing this every single week since 2019. This is my apple cider vinegar, no sugar added. Pink salt, you can get a lot of pink salt at Costco. Over here, get yourself a stainless steel thermos. The volume of the stainless steel thermos has got to be over 1 liter. So that's over a quart, okay? You want to get yourself a stainless steel thermos. Also another stainless steel cup for your black coffee. Coffee is optional. Now, once again, these are the simple ingredients that you're going to get for the salt flush protocol. Apple cider vinegar, some 4 citrus fruits, okay? Do not use oranges. Oranges will not make this work. I've tried them. And then pink salt or food grade Epsom salt, black coffee. So you're going to start to mix all these different ingredients in the salt flush solution in the stainless steel thermos right here. This is just for your black coffee. I'm going to explain how you do it. Salt flush protocol, you can screenshot this. The night before, there's going to be a little bit of fasting period. Just, you got to push through it. You guys can do it. The night before, you're finishing dinner around 7:30 p.m. You are not eating any late night snacks. You can still drink some water, have some liquids, perfectly fine, but do not eat any food. Next morning when you wake up, same thing. Don't do anything. Don't eat any breakfast, okay? Don't eat anything. You can still have some liquids. You can have some water. And at 11 a.m. on an empty stomach, I want you to make this in the stainless steel thermos. You're going to add 1 tablespoon and 2 teaspoons of pink salt or food grade Epsom salt in the stainless steel thermos. So that's 25 milliliter total. A tablespoon is 15 ml. A teaspoon is 5 ml. So altogether, you have 25. Now this is the protocol I've been using. You'll find different recipes online. I'm just telling y'all, you guys got to follow through on this specific set of proportions. And also, how you drink it will be extremely important. Next, you're going to cut and squeeze 3 lemons or limes or 1 grapefruit. You want to filter it. Okay, you want to filter it through the metal mesh screener. You want to make sure when you are drinking the solution, there's no pulp or seeds. So you want to make this as smooth as possible. Next, you're going to add a 1/4 cup apple cider vinegar. That's about 60 ml. So 1/4 cup, 60 ml. Then you're going to add 2.5 cups of hot water and stir. That's about 600 ml. Then you're going to add, you want to stir it up really well for about 30 to 45 seconds, making sure everything dissolves evenly in the stainless steel thermos. Then you're going to add another cup of room temperature water and stir to kind of bring back down the temperature of the salt flush solution. When you first start dealing with this salt flush solution, it could be very hot, so don't drink it right away. Okay. I'm just going to spin through my social media, making sure everything's running perfectly. If anyone has any questions, just put them in the comments below. You know, hello. If you are watching this, say hello. And depending on how many people here we have, because some people, you guys are speaking Chinese and stuff, I can also speak Chinese. Just let me know how you guys want it. Over here, checking out my streams, you know what I'm saying? My YouTube. I am also streaming on Twitch. Just broadcasting the crap out of this. Of course, there's also other streams may not be working very well. I'll just check back on them later. No worries. So coming back to this presentation, you want to get to a very relaxed state. Okay, the selfless protocol, you want to do it on a day when you have no other responsibilities. You are not making a whole bunch of other plans with your friends because that's going to give you added stress. You want to give a day to yourself, especially when you're doing this at the beginning. You don't know what to expect. So you are just having these things on your table after you mix everything together. I want you to do some bit of relaxation. You want to do some deep breathing. Listen to some Rachmaninoff, Piano Concerto 2, Movement 2. Anything relaxing, any music that's going to help you relax. And I want you to begin to breathe, okay, through the nose and into your diaphragm. You can feel your stomach moving up and down. Okay, that's actually very important. What are we trying to accomplish? Today, we're trying to clean out this whole pipework completely from the beginning to the end. You want to resolve chronic constipation, right? Well, there's a lot of trash stuck in this pipework right now. It's a very, very long piece of pipework. Just explain to you how long it actually is. I always relate this back to basketball. Over here, you can see this guy, dunk contest. Now, over here, from the floor to the basketball rim is 3 meters off the floor or 10 feet. Okay, so when you are talking about your small and large intestines combined, you're dealing with two of them, two NBA hoops stacked on one top of another. That's how long this pipe is. That's how long this pipe is right here. And through years of eating, you got all this trash stuck in here, and we're going to clean it out. Now, to just explain, you're going to use a set of ingredients. You're going to mix it together in these specific directions in the selfless solution in the stainless steel thermos. The black coffee is prepared separately. So on your table, there should be only 3 things. You have water. This is about 2 liters in volume. Over here, selfless solution, it's going to be about 1 liter in volume. And black coffee. How you drink this is so important because most people, you guys mess this up. That's why you're unsuccessful with it, and you used to say, well, this doesn't work. I'm just going to set it aside, right? Now, I've done this hundreds of times, so I figured out why did I fail in my early days with the selfless solution? Because I was going to make this work no matter what. Now, I've taught this to myself, my family members, and hundreds of other people all around the world. If they were to follow my directions to a T, many of them, most of them, the first time will be extremely successful. Pay attention. What you're going to do, you're going to take a tiny sip of this water, hold it in your mouth. You're going to take a bigger gulp of the selfless solution, drink it down. And you're going to take a tiny sip of this black coffee just to reward yourself, giving you a familiar taste. So you can repeat this process over and over again. Over here, take a tiny sip of this water, hold it in your mouth. Then you're going to take the selfless solution. As long as it's not burning hot, I want you to gradually put this down. Drink down the selfless solution, and sip on a little bit of black coffee to reward yourself. You're sipping here, you're sipping here, you're drinking here. Your goal is to put down the selfless solution first inside your stomach. Over here, you guys can screenshot this. Sip on the bottled water. Hold it in your mouth. It's a tiny bit, okay? It's going to coat your teeth and also your tongue. So when you start to drink the selfless solution, it's not going to taste that bad. When you first start drinking this, it's an unfamiliar taste. You don't know what it is. So you may reject it. Another tool that you can buy is a stainless steel straw. You guys can buy this on different websites. I think they're pretty inexpensive. You can spend a couple of dollars and get a whole bunch of them, okay? And that's going to help you avert the taste. When you're taking in the selfless protocol, you have a much easier time, okay? So sip on the bottled water, hold it in your mouth, take a bigger gulp, selfless solution, drinking it down, sipping on black coffee. But your goal is to put the selfless solution in your stomach first. While in a very relaxed environment, listen to your classical music, rhythmic breathing. That is an important requirement because if you're very stressed, that solution may not pass through over here. So you're drinking down the self-less solution. Over here is something called pyloric sphincter. You got to be as relaxed as possible so this valve will open up and the self-less solution will pass through your small intestine and begins to clean out the small intestine. That's why the fasting period is so important, because if you're eating a whole bunch of food after 7:30 or eating breakfast, you're going to have food still in your stomach or in the beginning part of your small intestine. The self-less protocol will not work. It will not, because you have a whole bunch of food that is trapped inside that section. Now, this is not a race. Another mistake that people make is that they drink this too fast. They think that, well, I saw a whole bunch of testimonials on John's website, on his page, and I want to get the same type of results. There are a lot of testimonials that receive testimonials almost every day. People finding me on YouTube, people finding me on different social media websites, and they're rushing it through. I'm like, what's the rush? Okay, so they may even throw up while drinking the self-less solution, so don't do that. You can take 45 minutes, take an hour and a half, but the solution, there's got to be some temperature to it. You can't let it just sit around and becomes completely cold. The solution, I need it to be somewhat of warm. It's not going to be burning hot, but it's got to be warm enough. So when you're drinking it, it may even make you sweat a little bit. In thermodynamics, there's something called, okay, when you have hot expands and cold contracts, right? Right now, we're trying to open up this pipework. Over here, while it's open up, it's warm. It'll be able to go through, begins to clean out the small and large intestines, and begins to push a lot of trash out of the system. Now, sip on the bottled water, hold it in your mouth, take a bigger gulp, self-less solution, drink it down, sip on black coffee, optional. Okay, repeating steps 1 through 3, and then you will start to, after you finish it, it's a little bit different for everybody. Maybe you'll have that urge to go to the bathroom and you just go. Okay, these are some poop milestones I want you guys to, you can also screenshot this. So your solids are first going to come out. There has been a lot of solids trapped inside this colon. They're going to come out first. Then you're never trying to force anything out of the toilet, you understand? You just may do some light stretching, you may walk around the house a little bit, but you're going to have that unction to go. Then it's going to transition to soft poop. You're finding out that, wow, there's a lot of stuff coming out. When I first started doing this protocol, this thing was coming out pitch black dark. It was like charcoal. So much trash accumulated inside my colon over the years, so I never had a really proper exit of that bowel movement. Solid is going to transition to soft poop, then it's going to become really, really soft, and then it's going to be like torn brown water. In this stage right here, when this happens, you still have plenty of water right here. I want you to keep on chugging that water safely. Drink it at a pace that you're okay with. What's that going to do is it's going to add more water pressure down this digestive tract to flush out even more debris out of the small and large intestines. In the process of doing so, you will get something called a diarrhea tsunami. You will spew out so much garbage from your behind. You're going to be shocked. You're going to be flabbergasted. And you're going to be disgusted because of how nasty it smells. Because over years of eating, you've accumulated so much garbage inside here, including the small intestines, including microplastics, including all this just random stuff you've eaten over the years. There's still remnants of it inside the small and large intestines. That's why it smells so bad. Warn your loved ones in advance. Put a fan on if you have to. Get that window open. Get the ventilation going. The smell of this is worse than roadkill. When you drive it on some interstate 5, I don't care, 405, and somebody ran over a skunk, you can smell it. The smell of that dead carcass is invading your car, so you switch your air to internal air. This one right here is even worse than roadkill. That's how bad it is. When we're trying to recover our health, you gotta first thinking about detox. Detox is removing the toxins that are currently sitting there in your body. Most people, they said, oh, the reason why your body is messed up is because you're not eating enough supplements. You must be missing this mineral. You must be missing that vitamin. So eat more supplements to fix your problem. I want you guys to think about this completely differently. Why don't we first get the waste material out of the body first, then think about supplementation? When you're sitting on the toilet, I want you to somehow mimic this squatting position. Human beings, we are not designed to use the bathroom at a 90 degree. We are designed to use the bathroom, have bowel movements at a much smaller angle in a squatting position. Now, most people, they just don't have a proper exit other number 2. Another small tip I can give you is that you can also lift up the toilet seat. Lifting up the toilet seat will eliminate the squeezing of your butt cheeks. When you're sitting on the toilet seat, it's squeezing your butt cheeks, squeezing your anus. So of course your poop's going to have a very tough time exiting. Okay? We're here to deal with chronic constipation, and this is just one of the ways that you can get the waste material out of the body. Now, as you're chugging on this water, right? So you are doing this diarrhea tsunami, you're still drinking this water, so you can see that there's so much waste material exiting, and over time, the watercolor is going to become lighter and lighter and lighter, and that's a good sign, because you've eliminated all the waste material trapped in your colon. The self-flush that you just prepared earlier, right? The self-flush that you just drank, that's already in the toilet. It creates that laxative effect. And now you're pounding on this water safely. Drinking this water also adds more water pressure to this digestive tract. And that water's become lighter and lighter and lighter. Basically, the water that you're drinking, in a few minutes, like 15 to 20 minutes, it's going to go out through the back end. It's a wonderful feeling. Let me tell you what. It's going to make you feel like $1,000,000. Because most people in the world, many people around the world, they're chronically constipated. And when you're chronically constipated, your day cannot even proceed in the right way. Because you're already stressed out. You're thinking about your chronic constipation, and you're like, I've already done this and this and this. I've gone to see this specialist. Try these different OTC medications, and none of it works. Well, I'm just telling y'all, this is the stuff that worked for me, and it works every single week. When you're dealing with anything detox, it's not something you just do one time. Something you must do on a regular basis. For me, it's every single week. There are only 52 weeks in a year. Every single week, I find an opportunity to do some form of detox protocol. And we're only talking about, this is just the beginner's protocol, a beginner's detox. And you need to master this detox first before jumping on other detox protocols. So I want to go through some of my social media, making sure there aren't any questions. So I don't know how chronically constipated you are. Some of you may be extremely severe. And your colon's completely caked up with trash and material. I want you guys to look into colon hydrotherapy. Most people do not look into this until it's too late. So some of you may have severe chronic constipation, and you may need to have this assistance. So look up colon hydrotherapy in your area. So what this is an apparatus that you lay down. The colon hydrotherapist, they're going to insert water through your back end, water through your anus, to help escort all this nasty material that's been trapped inside your colon. Because many of you, you have hardened fecal matter in your colon right now. In this hardened fecal matter, you use the hot water again to soften it up, and to get that out of your body. The many videos online, you guys can go look around. Different videos on colon hydrotherapy, and they are seeing a whole bunch of organisms come out of their back end. Some of you may go see a colon hydrotherapist maybe every single day for a whole week. Okay? Have you thought about that? That is a possibility you guys need to do. Over here, today we talked about 2 different protocols. One is the self-flush protocol. Next is colon hydrotherapy. Go look these up and look at the risk factors, because many people don't think about the risk factors that are involved. Okay, what I mean by that is you have all this waste material sitting inside of you, okay? And if you're not communicating well with your colon hydrotherapist, they may be putting the water pressure in too quick. If they put in too quick, that water pressure, you may have perforations in the colon. If you have perforations in the colon, you may go into sepsis shock and end up at the ER. That's what happens. So you got to communicate well with your doctor. And not everyone you can jump into my protocol right away. This is not for everybody. You have to discern this is right for you. This may be something for you if you're only 1 to 2 days constipated. Not if you're so severely chronic constipated, like over a week. If you're a week chronically constipated, this may be the first thing you got to look into. Okay? Now, there just isn't any really good solutions out there in what I've seen so far. Doesn't matter if I'm at the pharmacy, looking at different OTC medications, talking to different specialists, they don't have solutions for you. Understanding human physiology, right back. It's a very long piece of pipework. Chronic constipation is just junk that is accumulated inside the large intestine. But don't neglect the small intestine either. There's a lot of trash that could be trapped inside the small intestine. Now, if you do not resolve this large intestine is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, because this is waste material that cannot exit. Focusing on going from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. Let me just check my social media real quick. I think there was a question earlier. So over here, a lot of people, they wait until it's too late. This is a toxic megacolon. So there's waste material that cannot exit out of the body. It's so severe, the doctors have to remove this whole colon out of the body. All right? Toxic megacolons is life-threatening complication, inflammatory bowel diseases. These diseases can be painful and cause permanent damage to the large and small intestines. IBDs include ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, infections caused by this other colitis. Toxic megacolons characterized by swelling and dilation of large intestine due to the inflammation and accumulation of large amount of gas. Let me tell y'all, this is a lot more than just gas. It's food that you've eaten all over the years. You cannot get rid of. It cannot exit out the back, cannot exit out of your anus. So it keeps on growing. It keeps on dilating. It gets so severe the doctors have to remove this out of your whole body. This is the colon of a human being. It did not come out of a silverback gorilla. We're not looking at a zoo or Animal Planet. Now you may be wondering, well, what does the doctors do now after they remove this whole colon? Well, they got a whole bunch of procedures lined up for you, okay? And you got to recognize what those are. A lot of y'all, you go to the doctors, they put up an MRI scan, they put up an X-ray, they put out a CT scan. You have no idea what you're looking at. Well, that's why you guys got to buy some books on human physiology. You got to read it for yourself and learn it for yourself. Because in that state of you not knowing things, in that state of ignorance, they can take advantage of you. Okay? So over here, I gotta give you guys a lot of practical pessimism, a lot of fear. Okay? A healthy dose of fear. liability concerns, because until you start to look at your 1 to 2 days chronic constipation as a serious problem, okay, and begin to resolve it, you will not be successful with your health. I don't care what you do. Over here, let's just say something went wrong with your descending portion of your colon. They have something called a left hemicolectomy. Something went inflamed over here, and the doctors say the only way we can fix this is by cutting this dead material. So the colon, this part is removed. After they remove it, they just reattach the rest of your colon to this section. Okay. Over here, there's something called colostomy. Let's just say the tail end portion of your colon, something that is diseased, so that diseased portion is removed. Well, you might be wondering, well, how does the poop go out, right? This is all disconnected. Oh, they got a surgery for that too. They got a colostomy. Over here, they're going to put a stoma. They're going to create a hole in the abdominal wall, which will allow the waste to leave the body. A colostomy bag attaches to the stoma to collect the waste. You can go to the ER. You can learn a lot by just going to your local ER. If you're not learning, go to several ERs in your local area, and you will find people with these things. Or if you go to an elderly care center, a senior center, many seniors have to deal with this on a daily basis. Because in their earlier years, they keep pushing off chronic constipation. They kept pushing it off, and now they have to deal with this. Over here, maybe something went wrong with the ascending portion of your colon. Okay, so this is the right hemicolectomy. Now this portion right here is attached to your small intestine. Remember, the small intestine is 4.5 meters, attaches to your large intestine, the 1.5 meters, and out the back for elimination. Everyone, when it comes to the digestive system, we're the same. We're categorically the same. Doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are, the color of your skin, your political backgrounds, it does not matter. Human body, you begin to see humans as humans. Because when it comes to these systems, we're talking about systems, we're the same. For especially digestive system, we're the same. Nervous system, same. Cardiovascular, same. Right? Reproductive, different. Now, when they remove this ascending portion of the colon, they just reattach your small intestine to this part right here. So they remove the right side of the colon, attaching the small intestine to the remaining portion of the colon. Now, over here, in this procedure, they remove the colon completely. You may be wondering, well, how does the person poop now? Because over here, this colon right here is completely removed. Well, they got something for you. Don't worry. They got something called ileoanal anastomosis. They use the remaining portion of your small intestine and they create a pouch around it. So let me just put it over here. People on my IG can view this. So the ileoanal anastomosis. This allows your waste to expel normally, although you'll likely have several watery bowel movements daily. So they create a pouch and they reattach it, sew it into your anus. Is that really what you want for the rest of your life? Because most people, they put things off so late, they have to go for these medical procedures. Okay. Over here, somebody in Taiwan, they're suffering from chronic constipation, which led to a colon severely displaced. What is a displaced colon? Now, always come back to this photo, right? When we're looking at human physiology, looking at the large intestine over here, ascending portion, so you should go up like this, and then transverse, it's gonna hook up just a little bit, and then finally down and out for elimination. And that is categorically the same for everyone. Her colon is all over the place. If you take a quick look at her colon, you can see it goes up. It doesn't have the transverse anymore. It loops back down, kind of like a kink in the hose. And after that, it loops back up again. Now you got the colon inside her lungs area. This is her lungs. And it finally makes its way back down for waste elimination. Over here, this is extremely problematic because when she's standing up, all this waste material is fighting against gravity just to get to this point in the portion of her colon. She was only 23. I don't know if she suffered chronic constipation since her high school days. So if you're constipated, if you're in high school, you need to fix it. You can't wait. You can't be like, oh, I'm just going to put it off, okay, and take some OTC medications, blah, blah, blah. Now, there's so many things that are off your radar screen. That's why I put them in for you. And some of this information could be very uncomfortable. But until you see this and see the problems ahead, maybe you'll start to take notice and be like, you know what? I'm fixing this today. I'm fixing this chronic constipation today or tomorrow. Maybe you're going to take a day off and actually follow through on my protocol. Watch through my other videos. I got a lot of free information online. Okay, especially the earlier parts. And I do these lives pretty often. Here we have something called diverticulitis, another gastrointestinal disease. It occurs when pouches called diverticula start to form in the GI tract and become inflamed and infected. This condition commonly occurs in the Western population and can be seen in 10% of people over the age of 40 and 50% of people over 60. The rate of this disease typically increases with age. Scientists believe that this condition is due to not eating enough fibers. Not eating enough fiber leads to constipation, which puts extra pressure on the colon walls. And this causes diverticula or bulges to form the weak areas in the colon. The risk factors for diverticulitis may include age over 40, male, overweight, eating a low-fiber diet, eating higher fat and red meat, not enough exercise, taking non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like aspirin, ibuprofen, steroids, opioids, and smoking. Moreover, the signs and symptoms of this condition include pain, tenderness in the left lower side of the abdomen, nausea, vomiting, chills, cramps in the lower abdomen, nausea, constipation, diarrhea, rectal bleeding. See, this is a complete mess. Something went wrong on this colon, now that it's developing all these bulges. And it's causing all sorts of problems. They're saying 50% over the age of 60 have this. That's hundreds and hundreds of millions of people around the world that have this. So instead of having this problem happen for you, why don't we just reduce the inflammation by getting the waste material out of the body? That's all I'm saying. Okay, just because I'm reading these different medical websites, it doesn't mean I agree with everything that they say. When you're chronically constipated, what do people usually tell you to do? Oh, you gotta eat more fiber. You just have to eat more fiber. Why aren't you eating more fiber? That's the same thing they told my grandmother. So my grandmother, took their advice, took a lot of these fiber drinks that they gave her. Did it fix her chronic constipation? No. Because how are you going to put more fiber in you and think that it's going to help you when you have a whole bunch of waste material sitting inside of you right now? You're eating more fiber on top of chronic constipation. Of course, that's going to cause more dilation in the large intestine. And some people, they wait for it so long, that's why they end up with a toxic megacolon. Some people, they wait for it so long, that's how they get perforations in the colon and they go into sepsis shock. I am not joking, guys. What else do we have here? Ulcerative colitis. Over here, another chronic condition that happens when you have inflammation in your colon. Most people will usually experience periods of symptom flare-ups, followed by periods of remission without symptoms. Signs and symptoms include diarrhea, bloody stools, abdominal cramping, and weight loss. Treatments include medication and surgery. So there's more inflammation taking place in the colon. Now, when you are dealing with this, many doctors, what they do, they prescribe corticosteroids, immunosuppressants, and biologics. These medications suppress the immune system. So temporarily, you're not seeing the symptom flare-ups. Okay, maybe the bloody stools go away for a little bit, your abdominal cramping goes away. Well, you haven't really solved the root of the problem. And not a doctor here, I'm just saying if you're pumping a whole bunch of antibiotics, you're destroying your microbiome. The microbiome, your probiotics provide like a coating over the small and large intestines. And when you don't have that, you may end up with ulcerative surface. Next, many people are developing Crohn's disease. Okay, this is another gastrointestinal disease, part of another inflammatory bowel disease. This condition occurs when there's inflammation in the small intestine and colon. What are some of the symptoms? You have diarrhea, stomach aches or cramps, blood in the stools, tiredness or fatigue, and weight loss. Now, it is thought to believe Crohn's disease is caused due to genes, a problem in the immune system, smoking, a previous stomach bug, and an abnormal balance of gut bacteria. The risk factors for this condition include family history, smoking, certain medications like antibiotics, birth control pill, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like aspirin, ibuprofen, high-fat diet. Once again, I don't particularly agree with everything that they write on these medical websites. Now, over here, you have something with inflammation that is taking place in both the small and large intestines. But recognize that these symptoms are very similar across the board. I don't care if it's diverticulitis, ulcerative colitis, or even Crohn's disease. You have this combination of diarrhea, stomach aches or cramps, blood in the stools, tiredness and fatigue, and weight loss. Now, we're going to give you a lot more practical pessimism. This one you guys are not going to like. I'm going to share with it anyway. This is a rectal prolapse. Now, many people, they're huffing and puffing on the toilet, trying to make things happen, like I was. And in the process of doing so, you're applying a lot of pressure around this anus area. And over time, your rectum is going to flip inside out. That's what they call something that is prolapse, a prolapsing rectum. Very, very problematic because now this area could get infected. Now this area is going to smell. On top of that, there may be rectal bleeding when you're sitting down. It could be very uncomfortable when you're trying to sleep. Very uncomfortable. It's just a constant pain in the behind experience. And over here, you have another problem called anal fissures. A fissure is simply a crack, a breakage, a split in the anus area. Many people, they are forcing themselves on the toilet, trying to make things happen, chronic constipation, and that will result in many people with this problem. Now, when you talk to a doctor about your rectal prolapse or you're dealing with anal fissures, they always say something along these lines. You know, while several factors are thought to be linked to rectal prolapse, there's no clear-cut cause. An estimated 30% to 67% of patients have chronic constipation, infrequent stools or severe straining, and an additional 50% have diarrhea. In the past, this condition was soon to be linked to giving birth multiple times for vaginal delivery. However, as many as 35% of patients with rectal prolapse never gave birth, and it can occur in men. There might be some genetic predisposition to this condition. In other words, some patients are more prone based on their genes to develop this condition while others don't. Listen guys, the medical industrial complex, they're all about having you go on a whole bunch of detours after detours. They do not want to solve the root of the problem. They already told you right here, an estimated 30% to 67% of patients have chronic constipation. Wouldn't that be a pretty clear-cut cause? But they want to say, oh, you have some type of genetic predisposition. You got dealt some bad cards with your DNA, and that's why you have this. Now, even years ago, I was developing hemorrhoids. What are hemorrhoids? These are called piles. Piles are swollen veins inside your rectum or outside of your anus, which can cause pain, anal itching, rectal bleeding. Many people have this. Even at one point, I was going to the pharmacy, buying me some preparation H. That's how bad it was. Because I did not solve the problem upstream. The problem upstream is always chronic constipation to some form. And how do we define it? It's simply, hey, if you're not going every single day, consider yourself chronically constipated. Consider that you must do something to change the situation up. You have to restore this KPI, this key performance indicator. Now, many of you, you brush your teeth every single day, right? You shower regularly, you clean your house, you take your car to the mechanic for an oil change, routines. You gotta restore this KPI some way, somehow. That's all I'm saying, because they're gonna send you on detours, and you do not want to go seeing your proctologist. Proctologist, now I didn't even know what these people are until a couple weeks ago. Now, what is a proctologist? A proctologist is this highly specialized medical doctor who are called colorectal surgeons. Okay? These experts diagnose and treat conditions of the entire gastrointestinal tract, but specifically issues involving the rectum and anus. Now, over here, they might say, oh, we examine you and you're developing some anal fissures, okay? Maybe you're developing some rectal prolapse, or you got internal hemorrhoids. It's a complete mess, but don't worry. We can help you patch it up. You know, we can do some medical procedures. We can get rid of the hemorrhoids. You know, maybe tuck back in your rectal prolapse. These guys, they are ready for you. The bottom whisperer is ready for you guys to understand. Just think about how many of these latex gloves they go through every single day. They are ready to examine you and tell you what is wrong with you, okay? And the way how they usually solve the problem is usually quite cosmetic. This guy actually puts Botox in your behind. I'm not even joking. That's one of his specialties. Now, all I'm saying is, you're trying to fix the rectal prolapse, okay? You're trying to fix the anal fissure, or you got hemorrhoids you're trying to fix. If you don't solve this problem upstream, you still have chronic constipation. Well, you're going to develop new anal prolapse. You're going to develop new hemorrhoids. You're going to develop new anal fissures because the problem is here. But upstream, you still haven't resolved this. Can you guys see that? Why I want you guys to focus on detox, getting the waste material out of the body, going from the picture on the left to the picture on the right, to give yourself a fresh start. Not just a fresh physical start, but you're going to have such an alleviation with your mental health, your emotional health, because you're going to feel lighter. A lot of you, you have pounds and pounds of fecal matter. I'm talking about 5 to 10 pounds trapped inside of you right now. And you're just walking around thinking, oh, it's not a problem. And all the while, your stomach just gets bloated, gets bigger every single year. Okay, there are many people all over the world. They are just struggling. Let me just show you. Okay, they got a big ass belly sticking out like this, and these are young guys. And some people may say, oh, these guys are just lazy, they're not going to the gym, okay, they're not eating right. They may be doing all those things, just like I was. Listen, this was me before I was going to the gym. I had a personal trainer, I had a workout plan, I had a meal plan. I was following things to the T, and I was still struggling with chronic constipation. I was not able to lose weight. Your body is holding onto a lot of excess body weight, fats, water, because you're inflamed on the inside, okay? Another photo of me, you can see my whole face over here was inflamed. And I was very embarrassed about taking my shirt off, going to the beach, things like that, because, you know, I wasn't looking good. This is Southern California. Now, right now, you're dealing with this guy over here on the right. I look like this all year round without that much effort. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's the truth, okay? I don't put that much emphasis on working out. I put a lot more emphasis on detoxing. So I've realized if I can just clean myself on the inside, these are just the beginning things. I can improve all these other areas very naturally. My appetite is back up, my metabolism goes right. I'm not forcing myself to be restricted to a certain diet. I don't do any of that. I basically restored the metabolism in my 20s. In my 20s and 30s, I ate so much food. You can ask anybody that knows me. Anybody that knows me knows that I can eat a lot. I can go to a buffet all by myself. I don't need to be entertained. Korean barbecues, American barbecues, Chinese buffets. I do it all. That's how much I can put down food. And over years of eating, a whole bunch of trash accumulated inside my body, not being able to exit out of the body, a whole bunch of problems with my health, inflammation, all ups and downs. That's what happened. That's what happened. It's not a mystery. I'm wanting you guys to demystify problems that you're experiencing right now and what the doctors tell you how you should fix it. Okay, are there things on my radar that I'm missing? Maybe certain topics and ideas or issues that I'm not addressing right now. How do I fix it? That's what we're here for. Okay? Now, I may use the restroom a little bit. We've been going on for quite some time. But if you're watching, hello, hello. And just if you have any specific questions, just let me know. I got somebody on my YouTube. We can cover so much great content today. Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm just so grateful. My health has gotten better and better over the years. But I think the bigger win is I'm able to help my family members to do this. Also help my hundreds of people all around the world how to get this done, right? And you need to experiencing vibrant health. If you don't have vibrant health, you're not going to be able to achieve any of your other goals. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back, you guys. Alright, I am back. How does that screen look? Okay. Check my Twitter real quick. Alright. As we continue our discussion on practical pessimism, there are entire Facebook pages or Reddit forums, many forums online, and all they talk about is chronic constipation. What I want you to do is go through them, read for them yourself, because they've gone down that path of chronic constipation for so long. They've gone to see the different specialists, they tried the OTC meds, and they still have problems with their chronic constipation. And they're asking for these answers, right? They're very embarrassed, but a lot of them are posting anonymously. And they ask questions such as, sorry to be crude, but there's a big lump of poop that won't come out. What do I do? Anyone, any ideas? Suffer from constipation now and again, especially when I have been eating crap for the past couple of weeks. I've been constipated. When I go to the toilet, nothing is coming out. Or if it does, it's hard. Also been bloated, especially upper tummy, and like a trapped wood. Feeling plus since yesterday, not really got an appetite. Tried Ducales, never really worked. Eating more healthy, and now trying lactulose since Tuesday, they feel like it's just making me fart. Also to mention having some stress and anxiety with family members, been in hospital. What can I do to help get my tummy back to normal? Thanks. Consultant has put me on perchloride and glycerol suppositories. Any reviews? Many people are trying different medications. Whatever they're doing right now ain't working. Hi everyone, had a horrible couple of days. A lot of wet would come out, and I couldn't push out what was behind it, but after many attempts, making me sore, I finally did go. Okay, all that straining, right here. What I wanted to ask is, do you ever feel queasy to your tummy because of constipation or bowel problems? Sometimes I think it's all the worry and stress that constipation causes. Endless problems, guys. This is a rare problem, but it does happen. I'm just going to read it. Has anyone vomited fecal matter because it couldn't go down? What did you need to do about it? This is an example of feculent vomiting. Look at this paper right here. In a 2-year period at the LA County Harbor General Hospital, there were 23 cases of feculent vomiting. It's absolutely disgusting, but I'm going to share with you what it is. Your digestive system is a very long piece of pipework. You're eating this food down, right? Trying to go out through the back, but it's not going out. So what happens is that your colon just continues to get dilated, and then what happens is that all that fecal matter begins to work its way backwards. Backwards through where? Through the small intestine. So all that old poop is now coming back up into your stomach. Now you're dealing with reverse peristalsis. You're throwing up your own poop. I said you're throwing up your own poop. And that is what feculent vomiting is. Give you guys a healthy dose of practical pessimism if you don't fix chronic constipation. Here we go. Somebody asked, what is the longest you've gone without poop? What's the longest you've gone with no poop? Somebody says, 4 weeks was hell. I was throwing up feces. Feculent vomiting. I'll block myself with suppository eventually. Listen, you can die from this. You're throwing up your own feces. Somebody says, I'm so tired of this. This morning I was driving, all of a sudden it hits me. I didn't make it to the bathroom, all over my shorts and car seat. I'm so incredibly exhausted from this. I'm to the point of wearing adult diapers. See, adult diapers. Pay attention. There was a lot of mucus. This is normal. No, it's not normal. If you cannot have predictable bowel movements, and they're just coming out smooth, okay? They're not coming out hardened. They're not coming out like a bunch of sheep pellets. Okay, you're not straining on the toilet. It's in and out, in and out. That's what normalcy is in this world. You got to restore that. So over here, you got somebody here, very likely some form of IBD, irritable bowel diseases in the form of diarrhea. There was a comedian, you guys can look it up, look her up. Her name is Kelsey Cook. I'll put it in the. I should put it in the descriptions. So Kelsey Cook, IBS, extremely funny routine. She was sharing with her audience that she has irritable bowel diseases. Okay. And the crazy thing is that her husband also has problems too with chronic constipation. That is just very, very messy if you think about it. So one person has diarrhea, uncontrollable diarrhea. The other person has chronic constipation. So she was sitting on the toilet. She was actually waiting for the bathroom. She wanted to go to the bathroom, but her husband was already on the toilet. Her husband, chronically constipated, just swiping on the phone. Anyway, she texted him. He didn't respond, so she finally had to find a cardboard box and defecate in a cardboard box. People, if you cannot control your bowel movements, there's only adult diapers waiting for you, especially if it comes out in the form of diarrhea. Okay. Over here, another anonymous member. I've been reading around, and it seems to be that lenses, amitiza, motegrity, and most of those eventually stop working. All these are prescription strength. You need a doctor's prescription to get these drugs. Has anyone noticed that or have another idea? Can't believe what we're left to do to be comfortable. I'm so backed up. My stomach is very bloated. Looks and feel I'm 9 months pregnant. This is affecting my quality of life, getting depressed. I tried so many things and still not be able to clean out. That's why I tell y'all, if you do my protocol, if it's the right one for you, you can't stop doing it. You can't be like, oh, I've done this before. I don't have to do it anymore. You have to do it consistently. Like for me, it's once every week. That's how persistent I am in cleaning out my body. Some of you, maybe once every 2 weeks, but you have to find your routine. And you got to be very, very consistent. Over here, I'm impacted. All home remedies, OTC, laxatives, enemas, dietary changes, additions, nutritional oils quit working last month all of a sudden. The ER couldn't reach it. And their enemas didn't work. You see that? This person's already at the ER. And even the enemas at the ER didn't work for this person. The highest dosage for lenses does nothing. And the Miralax colonoscopy prep is giving me overflow diarrhea. Small bits are coming off the impaction, probably from the hospital enemas I got Saturday. What else can I do? I feel like the impaction is just too big to get out. And it seems like nothing is softening it enough. Problems. Hello, I've been struggling with severe chronic constipation for a couple years now, but it's only gotten worse over the last 6 months or so. I've been prescribed Trulance and lenses, highest doses for both, and neither of those medications are working very well for me at this point. I can pass a little bit of stool, but not much, so I'm constantly extremely backed up. I have to spend about half my waking hours lying down because I'm so bloated and nauseous and often in pain. Put yourself in their shoes right now. I'm reading these things. These are not written by ChatGPT. Put yourself in their shoes. This could be you. Because you're not addressing your constipation early. As far as OTC laxatives, nothing really works there. Dulcolax, enema, suppositories, magnesium citrate, nothing works. I was supposed to have colonoscopy today, but can keep the bowel prep down. The procedure had been rescheduled for a month from now, and one of the nurses at my GI office prescribed a pill-based cleanse. The pill is called Sutab, and I was warned ahead of time the patients often have trouble completely emptying their bowels with this pill. So given my struggles, I am doubtful that this will actually work for me. Can you hear the hopelessness in her writing? Here's my question. Has anyone here gone to the point where nothing works? Meds were OTC laxatives and had to have some sort of in-office medical procedure done? I'm so sick and so miserable. What about professional colonics? I'm not even sure how those work. So what she's talking about here is what I discussed earlier in my presentation. If anyone has any advice or experience with this, I'll be very grateful if you could share them with me, what you ended up doing and what the outcome was like. Thank you. These constipation forums and groups, full of people, tens of thousands of people. And I'm only talking about this in the English language. There are ones in Spanish, there are ones in Russian, okay? There are ones in Farsi, there are ones in Arabic. Everyone in the world struggling with this. And I want you guys to put yourself in the shoes of these individuals that have already gone down that path. It's like, I already tried this, tried that, went to see the specialist, still not working. So you got to learn to find your way to resolve this. I gave you my way. Now, if you have something that works extremely well for you, love to learn what your procedure is, what is your protocol. We can kind of put together some form of detox book that will be very helpful for the masses. Going to check on my social media to see if any questions. Well, I should also put that in there too. The Kelsey Cook video. You guys should watch that. That would really educate you to the type of problems people are experiencing day in and day out. It is non-stop. I'm going to give you guys some simple analogies. Your digestive system is very similar to plumbing in your own home. If your garbage disposal is broken, you gotta fix it immediately or get a plumber to do it for you. Because if you don't, you have a whole bunch of trash stuck inside of here right now, and that smell is gonna invade your whole house. Over here, your house is a series of pipes, water in and water out. If your toddler is throwing their favorite action heroes down this toilet, try to flush it out and gets clogged up, but you don't know, you use the bathroom. Now, all that poop is coming out through the toilet bowl, okay? And you're extremely frustrated. The whole house smells now. Just relate that back to feculent vomiting. That's what that is. You can, if your poop is not going out through these pipes and into the sanitary sewer, it makes this overflow back up. And many people, they're dealing with this with bad breath, or they have extremely nasty farts. Pay attention to this. It's connected with your digestive health. If you cannot get the waste material out of the body, it can only go either this one, go through this hole, go through your mouth, or all that nasty smell is going to exude through the skin. Another word for exude is probably ooze. So think about waste material in here right now, not exiting, but it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? It keeps on dilating. All that nasty trash, it still has to exude through the skin. So some people, they have the worst body odor. Doesn't matter if they're using detergents, washing their clothes properly, they're taking showers, they're using cologne or perfume, but there's always that slight hint of nasty smell. Many elderly people have this, has a lot to do with chronic constipation, but also rectal prolapse, anal fissures, right? And also hemorrhoids. All these things is going to cause so much discomfort for you because there's going to be remnants of waste material sticking out of your behind. You guys understand? So you guys got to fix chronic constipation. Now I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to talk some other topics momentarily. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll address them as they go through. Popping my program, you know what I'm saying? Just with the directions I gave y'all, you guys can complete the selfless protocol. Now, if you're successful with it, you guys can choose to support me on my journey. I have different programs how to clean the small, large intestines, also parasite cleanse. And that will be my next topic. Most people, they ignore internal parasites. They think that they live in a first world country, so they're somehow exempt from internal parasites. Wrong. This is an often overlooked topic. It's going to cause a lot of digestive problems for you if you do not address it early. And many of you have internal parasites. You just don't know. And the doctors do not look into this. So we're going to talk about it. Over here, Whole Foods market, first world country. People are finding parasites in their salmon. Over here in Costco, okay? There are hundreds and hundreds of stores all over the world, and they're finding worms in their Costco salmon. This is in the San Diego area. Now, today I'm going to go through some major parasites got to be watchful for. These are full-blown organisms. These are parasites you can see with your naked eye. Okay, because it can grow to such an incredible size. This is the liver fluke. Then we have pinworms, we have tapeworms, and also roundworms. Understanding different parasites, you want to look up their life cycle. Don't just take my word for it. You got to look these up for yourself. Talk to some professors. There are professors, this is what they study. Their profession's parasitology. Parasites have the ability to survive and replicate through multiple organisms. Looking at this life cycle of this liver fluke, okay? Over here, they hatch in water, and from here, they begin to attack an intermediary host, such as a snail. They go inside the snail, extract the nutrients and resources, grow to a certain size, exit out of a snail, and land up on some vegetation. On this vegetation, they get eaten up by a cow or a sheep. And that's how this liver fluke end up in these animals. Ask anybody in the ranching business in Idaho, Montana, in Australia, New Zealand, I don't care, Argentina, they have to deal with this year in and year out. With their livestock, cattle and sheep, they're just having all sorts of health problems. They're losing hair, they have no appetite, they're getting sick all the time. Then they look into this, and oftentimes they have liver flukes, and they take medications to get rid of these parasites out of their body. Now, when you're eating rare steak, okay, raw steaks, undercooked meats, and a lot of people like to eat liver these days, you have the risk of also getting liver flukes. Liver flukes, they're very intelligent. They know how to extract nutrient resources from you. And your liver is a storage of vitamins and minerals. So they go inside your liver to extract the nutrients while they continue to survive and replicate. Parasites are very good at doing these two things. They're very good at survival and replication. There's a video I want you guys to watch, okay? I mentioned this yesterday, but I want to mention it again. Just type in liver flukes, Animal Planet. This is a crazy story of a lady, a parasite eating at a woman's liver causing agonizing pain. Monsters inside me. She was dealing with this for years. She was dealing with this pain for years. There was an example where she went to the doctors and she was at the ER. She was in so much pain. And after these ER doctors did all these tests, they said, we can't find anything wrong with you. Isn't that frustrating? When you go to the doctor, you expect you're going to get properly care. And they're going to find the etiology or the root cause to your problems. But do they do that? No. For the most part, they do not do that. So you have to learn this for yourself. You can't just take my word for it. You have to learn these different parasites one by one. There are museums of parasites, parasitological museums, one in Japan, also another one I think in the US. So in this one in Japan, they have 60,000 specimens. Now, about 100 different species of parasites can attack the human body. When we're looking at parasites, you're thinking, I don't have parasites. Listen, you may have multiple species of parasites sitting inside of you right now. Here we have another parasite. This one specifically attacks your kidneys. So if you're eating raw fish, eating frogs, because this parasite, they will get into frogs and fish. And if you're ingesting these things and you're undercooking them, because a lot of elderly people, because they have bad teeth, they don't fully cook the meat. I've seen this many times. They will eat pork undercooked. That's how crazy it is. In the process of doing so, they may be ingesting these worms. And this particular parasite, it attacks your kidneys. Different parasites, they attack different parts of your body. If you're in a part of the world that eat a lot of intestine products, there are a lot of roundworms in intestines. A lot of different worms in raw fish, also hot pot, it's everywhere. So let's study up also on tapeworms. Tapeworms are very, very common. They're in beef, they're in pork, they're also in fish. There are different species of tapeworms. And this is what they look like under the microscope. They have these suckers that will give them a very firm hooding on the intestinal walls. This is their teeth. The rostellum that just attaches to your small and large intestines, they continue to suck the life force out of you. That's what they do. Over here, this is your anatomy. This is the head portion. Over here, this is their reproductive system. They're hermaphrodites. All right, they can reproduce very well by themselves. So if you have a beef tapeworm, let's just say this beef tapeworm has 1,000 progonids. These grids. Each one of these grids is a progonid. And each progonid can produce 100,000 eggs. Do the simple math. 1,000 multiplied by 100,000, you got 100 million eggs. That's how problematic these guys are. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, try this. Remember all these testimonies that I gave you earlier about how people, they're struggling with chronic constipation, still not getting a result? Well, they may have very big parasites sitting inside of them. In Thailand, this person pulled out a tapeworm that was 59 feet. 59 feet is roughly 18 meters. Just how long is 18 meters? We're going to come back to basketball. All right. So floor to that basketball rim is 3 meters off the floor, or 10 feet. If this parasite is 18 meters, you just take 18 divided by 3, you have 6. So imagine you're looking at a basketball hoop, okay? And you want to put 5 more on top of that. That combined height altogether was the length of this one particular parasite. And it's just imagine all the progonids that were laying eggs inside this person continue to survive and replicate. And you're like, well, I don't live in Thailand. Listen, parasites are everywhere in the world. Okay? If you're consuming pork, consuming beef, undercooked, because a lot of you guys don't like to eat your steaks, you don't even like your steaks medium well or well done, right? You like it medium rare. And when you're doing barbecues, they like to make sure that the meat is tender, right? So on the surface, it may be well cooked, but when you cut inside, there's that juiciness, that tenderness. The temperature hasn't gone to the point where it could kill these parasites. And another thing is, a lot of them, they have eggs inside. You're not going to get rid of the eggs. And the eggs going to get inside your body. They're like, oh, we have a very nice warm environment. We're going to hatch. We're going to continue to survive and replicate. That's what happens. Many of your pets, they have parasites. You need to look into this very closely. This is the tapeworm that is being extracted from this cat. Even the cat is freaked out. Here we have an American bully full of roundworms. Okay. Here we have another parasite getting extracted out of the nasal cavity of a cat. This could be a botfly. And botflies can also attack human beings. Very problematic. Go study up the life cycle of a botfly. It'll freak you out. Maybe you won't be able to go to sleep. And when you look at the presentation like this, you start to ignore this information. Well, I'm just telling you, the more you ignore, the more problems you may have in the future because you're not addressing it early. These parasites, they are establishing a beachhead right now in your body. And the more that you neglect it, now you're dealing with a bastion. Now they got a castle, okay? Different risks. Dealing with your animals, I don't recommend you have this type of interaction with your pets going forward unless you know your pet very well, you know how to detox them, you know how to deworm your pets. Even a lot of vets don't even look into parasites. I'm telling y'all, you're gonna have to look into it. So as you're taking photos with these cute little animals, you have no idea what this dog's been doing all day. Some dogs are so stupid, they eat the feces of other dogs. Over here, raw meats, undercooked meats, raw fish. And if you're traveling all around the world, you have to go there prepared. Because most of you don't know how to filter your own water. You don't even know what to bring with you. So you're drinking that local water. Maybe you're out in the Amazons doing your ayahuasca. Well, if that water has contaminants, if it has parasites, now you're drinking in all the parasites. And you go back to the US, go back to UK, go back to Australia, you're feeling horrible. And you're going to end up like this lady, going through all these detours because she had all these symptoms, all these problems. She was in a lot of pain, okay? She was beginning to experience jaundice because the liver flukes were attacking her body, attacking her liver. She was explaining the pain and discomfort. And until they came across this one guy, right? This guy in gastro, Chef M. Basil. I don't know if it's French, Basile. Listen, go look him up. I looked him up. He is a gastro doctor in South Carolina, I think in Charleston. You have to talk to doctors that actually understand parasites because if you talk to him and ask him about his other colleagues, do they even look into parasites? He will probably say no, because most doctors do not look into parasites. Coming back in here, even when you're eating raw vegetables, they have the potential of having parasites in them, because we said before, parasites, they attack a snail, right? And from the snail, they exit and then land up on some vegetations. There was a kid eat snail, end up. Look at this. Don't take these stupid risks, okay? In 2010, there was a guy. This Australian boy, Sam Ballard, was drinking with his friends when they saw a slug crawl across the floor. They dared him to eat the slug, which he did. Soon he became weak and fell into a coma for 420 days. When he woke up, he was paralyzed and died 8 years later in 2018. So if you're a young guy watching this video, don't take these stupid risks. Okay? Don't be like, I want to be cool. I want to, show my friends I can eat a slug. So I'm going to go through my social media just to make sure there aren't any questions. Because when you're young, you're like, you think you're invincible, right? You do have a lot of energy, and I'm just saying, listen, there are some risks you don't have to take. Because if you were to go down that path and you don't know how to get rid of internal parasites, you may end up like this guy. Over here, parasites attacking the liver, and it begins to develop something called cysticercosis. I want you guys to look that up, important keyword. Parasites gone outside of the digestive tract begins to attack the muscles. This is a CT scan. Cysticercosis all over the body. Parasites gone inside somebody's brain. This is MRI. This is called neurocysticercosis. Parasitic infections of the brain. Okay. So if you're traveling abroad, if you go into Vietnam, go to Cambodia, they have a lot of raw dishes using raw blood. I do not recommend you guys eating this. You can watch it online, right? But if you go there, you just want to prepare your own meals in advance and bring it with you, because there's a lot of food. If you were to consume them, you may get extremely sick and die. That's like, it's definitely on the map. Over here we have pinworms. Pinworms are very common. According to this PubMed, it's affecting almost 1 billion people worldwide from all socioeconomic classes. You see a child scratching their behind, could be pinworms or adult. Parasitic infections, and study their life cycle. We discussed earlier, roundworms are very, very common, okay? They're in rabbits, in ducks, in your pets. You can get them very easily just through this type of interaction. This is called zoonotic diseases. Zoonotic diseases are diseases that can transfer from animal to the human body. Now, here is the liability concerns most people overlook. Over here, this is somebody getting their roundworms pulled out of their colon. This is not some animal, this is a human being. They had this many roundworms sitting inside of them. And the doctors is like, we have to do surgery, get these guys all pulled out. And you wonder why this person may have chronic constipation. When you have this many worms sitting inside of you, your poop is going to have a very tough time exiting. Parasites, they love a very toxic environment, an environment that is full of fecal matter. If there are cockroaches in your house, if there are ants in your house, don't blame the cockroach, don't blame the ants. Is your house clean? They're there for a specific reason. They can smell something that they can eat, okay? So you want to keep your house as tidy as possible. Don't let anything that they can smell. Keep it clean, top to bottom. Because if you don't, they're going to bring all their friends in. You're going to see many, many more cockroaches. They're going to stick around for a long time. They're going to multiply on top of you. Same thing with the ants. And before you know it, you're going to have rats, okay? They go inside your house because they figured out there's something that I can eat. Parasites, they like to be in that nasty environment, continue to extract nutrients and resources from you, and they're just going to keep on bullying you, where they start to bully your other organs. These are roundworms being extracted from the liver. The doctor has to pull them out one by one, okay? So recognizing these risks, today we talked a lot about different topics, about the self-flush protocol, but later on, if you're proficient with the self-flush protocol, you want to begin to learn about how to eliminate internal parasites. So here are some natural herbs, which could be very helpful. This is clove bud, where we have wormwood, and these different herbs have been used to treat different parasitic infections all over the world. Over here, this is Vermox. Metaxidil is OTC in many parts of the world, and is shown to prove to take care of your roundworms, whipworms, pinworms, and hookworms. Okay. There are also different herbal tinctures online. This is a black walnut and wormwood combination. Another wormwood combination. This is in pill form. Then Benzidol, also very common in Asia. I've taken this many times. Now for your pets, you gotta get something like Panicure C for your dogs. And if you're dealing with your cats, look into Frontline for your cats, okay? They have a lot of worms. And you gotta deworm them regularly. It's not something you just do one time, okay? Now, some of you may have to look for OTC strength and also prescription strength. This is albendazole and this other drug, ivermectin. I'll tell you the reason why they don't want you to know about ivermectin. They don't want you to know because they don't want you healthy. Parasites is such a big problem. Earlier we talked about how pinworms, that one parasite affects close to 1 billion people worldwide. And roundworms, I think that's also right around 1 billion people worldwide. Right? If you start taking these medications, you might heal yourself and your symptoms going to go away. Your chronic diseases will subside substantially. And they don't want that. So study up on these different medications, herbal blends, work with your doctor, work with your doctors that know about internal parasites, integrated medicine, naturopathic doctors. There are different OTCs, different herbal blends, and this is not something I recommend you doing right away. You got to be able to clean out this pipework completely through the detox protocol, the self-flush protocol I discussed earlier. Now, a lot of you, you're just not ready for this because if your system is already caked up, you're not able to resolve this, right? And you're taking a whole bunch of anti-parasite medications. What you're going to have? You're going to have more blockages. You're going to have the waste material that you cannot get rid of. And on top of that, you take these, now you have a whole bunch of dead carcasses sitting inside of you you can't get rid of. Okay, just imagine this guy, he took a whole bunch of anti-parasite medications. These things are dead inside of him, but they're not exiting out of him. Just think about that. So wouldn't it be much better to divide and conquer your problem by first getting the waste material out, going from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. Then deal with your internal parasites, but also following through after you take the herbal medications, you do the self-flush protocol so you can flush out all the dead parasites, all the dead carcasses from the small and large intestines. Wouldn't that make a lot more sense? So this is a topic often overlooked when people are struggling with chronic constipation. Look into this. Study this out for yourself. Spend about 2 months. Okay, so they say study 1 parasite per day. So in 2 months, you can learn about 60 different parasites. So I want to go through my social media real quick. So we've been going on for quite some time, and today we cover a lot of material, almost at that 2-hour mark. Okay. Today, just in recap, taught you guys what your digestive system is all about. Okay. Chronic constipation, waste material not exiting out of the body, liability concerns, toxic megacolon. Okay. Different procedures. You may have a displaced colon, diverticulitis, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, may lead to rectal prolapse, anal fissures, okay, hemorrhoids. If you don't want to see this guy, I highly recommend you clear out this pipework completely. You may use the self-flush protocol, but many of you, you may have to begin with colon hydrotherapy, you have to find something that can clean out this pipework on a regular basis consistently. From there, I want you to look into parasitic infections, study one parasite, maybe just one per day, and that will give you so much insight to how your body works. Okay? Small little insight here. You do have an immune system. The immune system has the ability to get rid of internal parasites. However, many people are taking corticosteroids. If they're on corticosteroid therapy, that means their immune system is suppressed. So these guys are not going to work. And your parasites love to thrive in that environment because there's no threat in that environment. Your body does have an immune system. But for some reason, doctors gave you corticosteroids. You can be sure your parasites are multiplying rapidly inside of you. All right. And my name is John. I teach people how to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. I used to tell people, if you want to lose weight without going to the gym, this is one way that you can do it. Now, it doesn't mean that you can just continue to eat trash. You gotta put in healthy foods in you. You can do regular exercises by going to your park, okay? Get some runs in when you come back home. You have some weights, do some weights, right? Do some exercise, do some stretchings. And the whole year, my body, that's basically my physique's the same throughout the whole year. And I've helped my own family members. In my videos, I teach you my story, introduction to the digestive system. Next, I have the salt flush shopping list. How do you make the salt flush? Do it exactly. How to drink the salt flush solution? Do this exactly. How to poop professionally. What to do after the salt flush. How to get rid of internal parasites. So what are some of the benefits you can experience? Weight loss, improve digestive health, increase your energy levels, enhance self-confidence, reduce brain fog, better body odor control, confidence in your appearance, improved overall health, long-term wellness. If you're interested in any of these, get my program. Okay, get my program and commit to it. And you can get some of these testimonials that I get from all over the world. This is my friend in Italy, my friend in Malaysia, Osaka, but this is a complete stranger. He followed through on my directions with my videos. It was so effective, he bought my programs right away. Over here, somebody bought my program. People here I've helped in Asia. So if you need assistance in Chinese, just let me know. I get a lot of these testimonials all over the world. Okay? So there are many things that you can get on my site. Okay, if you look at my Gumroad, you can get my program here. You can get some free PDFs if you want to buy it, at give me a small fee, that's great. This will teach you so much about getting rid of internal parasites. Over here, I teach you how to get your liver back into health. Over here, this is the no BS guide to the digestive system. A lot of great info here. If you need one-on-one coaching, hit me up here, or you can just find me on my IG. Find me on some IG, and we're going to get on a Zoom call. Get on a Zoom call, a free Zoom call, first of all, and I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of questions. And from there, I'm going to decide, hey, if I can really help you or not. To really help you recover your health. Right? Because you're all looking for vibrant health, right? The way that you do it, you're going to get it done through detox. You're not going to just somehow experience vibrant health and doing nothing. And some of you, you're at different stages of detox. Now, me, I know how to clean the small and large intestines, know how to get rid of internal parasites. I know how to flush gallstones out of the body. Pay attention to this. A lot of you don't even know that your liver, your pancreas, all connected to the small intestine, the duodenum. And there may be a lot of congestion in the gallbladder right now. and you don't know how to clean that up, I know how to get it done. I know how to get the gallstones out of the gallbladder and flush them out of the body. And within a few weeks, I also have a protocol for the kidneys. Because if you don't fix your kidneys, you're going to end up on dialysis, okay? A lot of you just keep putting things off, You're not learning human physiology. You don't know how the kidney works. You don't know how to fix it yourself. There's only drugs and dialysis for you down the road. So instead of waiting until this happens, why don't you just assume, you know what, there's always another level of health I can unlock. Think in that way, and you will find other solutions to help you. So today, I just want to thank y'all for jumping on this call. It's been a very long presentation, but I hope it's helpful for some of y'all. And get my programs. Connect with me on IG if you're looking for that one-on-one coaching. And look forward to hearing from you in the next broadcast. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you soon.